Hey guys, here is the second part of my last workout, my first video, and I just wanted to say real quick because I got called out on it a few times. I'm a fourth year at Davis, not a third year. I don't know, dude. It's crazy. It's fourth year at Davis. I'm senior. Man, it feels like it was yesterday. I was in the dorms as a first year, but yeah, just had to had to say that because I had a few friends say, dude, you're not a third year. I'm a fourth year. All right, enjoy the rest of my workout. All right. Into handstands. So, handstand. I mean, that's like a gymnastics staple, right? I gotta have a good handstand. And lately, I've really just been trying to get my handstand to a good shape. And what I mean basically is just having. I don't want to be in a handstand where, you know, where I'm like where I'm like leaning over my hands and my back is like bananaing. I don't want that. I want it to be all locked in, which means my shoulders got to be in my ears. I got to be locked in right here, like right there, right? I want my ears to my armpits, and that just helps you lock your joint over joint, right? And plus, if you can hold this position, you're gonna be able to hold it longer. Because if you're in this position right here in a handstand, you're taxing your shoulders. But if you stack all your joints above each other, you can just sit on these joints. You're still going to have to flex, so you don't want to just be sitting on the joint like this, but you're still going to have to, push like this through the shoulders and everything, but you're stacked above the joints and you're not just using all shoulder strength. So this is an exercise I do. I just kind of just kick off the wall like this, and I try to just push up through my shoulders as much as I can here. As you can see, I actually took a look at this video before I recorded this. I'm actually piking a little too much right here. So my back is arched. That's not good. So you can see my back is arched right here. My core needs to flex. My core is laxed right now. That's not good. My core needs to be flexed. This needs to straighten out, which will then straighten out my pike here. My pike right here, my legs going this way, that is making up for the fact of my back being arched. You're about to see it actually right here on some freestanding ones. All right. So here's right here. This is one of my good ones. One of my good ones. It's still not that good. So as you can see, my shoulder mobility, by the way, is not that good. That's one of the things in gymnastics I'm always working on, or I'm trying to always work on, is mobility and flexibility, right? So my shoulders have a tough time moving past my head this way, and when they do, it will cause my trunk to actually come forward, which puts me in an arch shape. So right here, my shoulders, I'm really focusing on my shoulders being stacked right here, but it's causing this arch shape right here due to my lack of shoulder mobility, right? And because of that lack of shoulder mobility, this arch, in order for me to hold this shape with an arch, I have to pike a little bit right here. See this little angle right here? That angle? That pike, having my feet more this way, that is allowing me to bounce right here, which is why I don't want that, right? I want to take out this arch. I want to lose this pike so I'm perfectly straight, which I am not. But something to work on, right? So yeah, I think that was like my best one. I rip out a few of these just to see what I can do. All right, on to the first exercise. All right, so first thing I do is I measure the width of these dumbbells, because when I'm doing P-bars in gymnastics, the width I like them at is like a forearm's length and 2 fingers. So if that's my width on P-bars, I want that to be the same in training, right? So I'm training, I gotta have that width the same. So I put the dumbbells in. I'm using them as parallettes, and I have a weakness. I noticed very recently I have a weakness in pushing, and not just doing like push-ups like this, but I have a weakness in pushing but keeping my elbows in, right? So to do a handstand push-up, right, a good one, because you don't want to be flare out like this in a handstand push-up. If I'm doing a handstand push-up, I want to be nice and tight right here. My elbows in. I don't want my elbows flaring out. And I've noticed over the past couple of years that my elbows like to flare out. They don't like to stay here. And that's because I'm not strong here. I think it has something to do with a lack of strength in my triceps. I'm not quite sure if it's all triceps, but basically the reason I'm doing this exercise, this kind of pike handstand push-up right here, is just to work that motion. Just trying
to get stronger in this motion, so one day I can progress towards handstand push-ups. As you can see, I do a few reps right here. So yeah, by the way, right here, this is a pike right here. That is a pike position. So yeah, really just trying to keep my elbows tight and close to my body, not letting them flare. And I'm trying to sink my head as close as I can. I should be next rep. I don't show all my sets on this, but I take my hat off so I can actually touch my head to the floor and make it harder. But yeah, so that's that exercise. And then I superset that with some weights. And I do some military presses right here, as you can see. So now, this is where I was talking about where I have lifted in the past, and I kind of like using weights to catalyst, my gymnastics training. So doing this alone is not going to be able to get you handstand push-ups, but I figured it can help, right? I figured it's not going to hurt. So I use that to just really help this motion keep my elbows tight. I'm not doing military presses like this. I'm trying to keep them in to help that motion of a handstand push-up. So I rep out, I think 40s. And yeah, so I do 3 sets of that superset. And then after that, oh yeah, I had some juice in the tank, so why not do a few leg lifts? Did some leg lifts, hopped off, thought I was going to quit, and I was like, nah, you got some more in you. So I did some tuck leg lifts. Always got to keep pushing. Alright, and then my endurance, with all this strength training I've been doing lately, my endurance has kind of been slacking, so I've been throwing in some kind of longer sets of pull-ups and push-ups. So I think I did 40 pull-ups in this total. Not in one set, multiple sets, but yeah, crank out 40 pull-ups, and then I wanted to do 50 push-ups as fast as I can. I only did 30 because my shoulder was starting to hurt. I have shoulder impingement going on in my shoulders, so I really have to make sure I do a lot of pulling exercises just to offset that, and a lot of stretching and stuff, but constantly working on shoulder impingement issues. But yeah, so I knock out these push-ups. Oh yeah, so I did, as you can see here, I did some like rehab-ish shoulder stuff just to help my shoulders kind of relax. So I'm really just trying to work my back before I get into this next set. So yeah, I do some of those. I think those are called Cuban presses. Stretch out my shoulders a little bit. And then I do some flies just to hit that back. Flies always just, man, those feel so good in the back and the lats. So I always try to include those in any sort of rehab session for my shoulders. And yeah, still hitting the back with those. All right. Last thing for the workout. Lately, I've been loving mass supersets / drop sets, and for this one, I've done some crazy superset drop sets, loading my biceps, and that's kind of what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to start off with heavy weighted curls. So 35 pounds for curls for me, that's pretty heavy. Like for me, that's pretty heavy. I can only crank out I think 3 each side on my first set, and then including 1 with both after every time I do 1 of each. So yeah, after I do that, I'm going till failure. I'm really just trying to go till failure on this. I like the weight high in the beginning of the superset just so I can just hit it hard right off the bat. And I really just try to squeeze at the top, slow down. And I do a few kipping ones here just because I couldn't do it without after that, and I wanted to load it. And I went right down to 15 pounds, and I just kept right away because I'm already so gassed. If I just lower the weight, I can do more, and just loading my biceps right now. So yeah, just kept doing that. And then right into cable Maltese pulls. So yeah, the key for these, oh yeah, right here I realized I had like 100 pounds on it, I couldn't even pull it. But yeah, for me this is going to help. For me, I feel like this is going to help me with like stuff like back lever and even planche, because it's just locked elbow pulling motion, right? And I've thrown these in with curls because with straight arm work alone, you you won't really feel it in the bicep a lot, but I like throwing them in with curls because if I load my bicep a ton before doing straight arm work, if I do straight arm work, I can still feel it in the bicep, and that just feels amazing. So I love doing straight arm work in combination with curls. And then right after I do my Maltese pulls, I do some more curls right away, no rest. Go into failure on all of this stuff, and then immediately go into lightweight Maltese pulls with dumbbells. I think those are like 5 pounds. Yeah, 5 pounds. Yeah, sounds right. And yeah, so yeah, that is I did. So yeah, I did 3 sets of that, and yeah, that is the workout. Let me just